Hey everyone, how's it going? Welcome back to our third exercise video in this Patreon series. As you may notice, I'm in a new location here. No more powder blue walls. We got some white brick behind me now, so I'm pretty excited about that. And yeah, really excited to kind of break down some slurred bowing today. We're going to be talking about how to approach practicing G major scale with some different slurring options. And what I mean by slurring is multiple notes on the same bow. Something like this. Where all those notes were played on that down bow. And you're not going to play that many notes at once in these exercises, but we're going to get all the way up to 4 notes under the same bow direction. And I'll drop the bow for a second. If you might recall, we had our G major scale worked out in that very first exercise video we did. Just as a refresher, we did second finger on the left hand on that low G, open A, first finger on B, second finger on C, open D, first finger on E, fourth finger on F sharp, and then the open G. Coming back down. So our left hand is going to stay the same in this video. And yeah, feel free to refer back to that video if you need a refresher. And you want to just remember how to do that, playing pizzicato. So grab the bow again. And the first thing we're going to do is just a simple back and forth motion. So we're actually not going to be slurring any notes. So we're going to start we're always going to be starting with the down bow. And again, down bow means you have the frog right here, and you're starting down at the frog, heading towards the tip, which is here. Up bow is the opposite. You start at the tip, farthest spot away from your hand, and come back to the frog. So if we're starting down, that G, there you go. So down bow on the G, up bow on the A, down B, up C, down D, up E, down F sharp, up G, and then back down. Yeah, so I got a different bass today. My normal bass is in the shop for some much needed work, so just getting adjusted to this, Anytime you get a new instrument, it just takes some time to break in and get accustomed to how it responds. So forgive me for any scratchiness today. Yeah, again, just to review, really just simple back and forth. And this is the most important thing about all of these exercises is that you're trying to maintain a connected sound. When you do change bow direction, you don't want it to stick out too much. That cave person bowing we talked about. You just want it to kind of dissolve and be able to kind of continue as one musical idea. Try it one more time. So the bow direction shouldn't play too much of a role in defining how the scale sounds. Unless you want it to, if it's an intentional choice and you're accenting every bow move or something like that, by all means. But for this exercise, try to keep it as smooth as possible. So that's the first thing you should practice. And with all these, putting on a metronome around 60 beats per minute is what I recommend. And from there, you can get faster as you want, but I'd say practice all 4 of these before you end up getting any faster. So that's our single bowing, just back and forth. Next, we'll try to get 2 notes under one bow. And this is where it starts getting a little challenging because we're not slurring notes on the same string. Like that little, demo I did. That's all on the A string. what we're actually doing is slurring across strings. The very first one, right, is the low G to that open A, all on a down bow. So this is kind of the really tricky thing about this exercise, is when you're trying to connect two notes and they're not on the same string. And you kind of have to think about the properties of each of those strings. You know, you're going to be going a little slower and give a little bit more weight on the E string. And then you got to lighten up a little bit and move a little faster on the A string. And this is something, you know, you will get used to, but it may take some practice. So going through this, you slur a down bow on these, G, A, and then up bow, B, C, down bow, D, E, up bow, F sharp, G. And then you come back down, G, F sharp. I think I said G, E. I meant G, F sharp at the end of that, going up. So from the top again, G, F sharp, up bow, E, D, down bow, C, B, then up bow, A, G. Do it one more time, all together. Trying to keep that whole connected musical sound through the entire exercise. So yeah, that's the double bowing. And then we're going to come to 3 notes per bow. This will get a little bit more interesting. And I'll explain. There's one moment in particular that we're going to have to kind of talk through. But let's say, okay, so we want to use our first down bow is going to hit the first 3 notes, G, A, and B, all on a down bow. Okay, all on an up bow, we got C, D, and E, right? And then we have F sharp and G, and then the descending G as well on the next down bow. So what we're doing there is we have 2 G's in a row, and we're trying to re-articulate the second G without actually changing bow direction. So you give it a little pulse. Yeah. And this is actually a big thing in old time bowing. Like, you know, we will look at some fiddle tunes under the bow, and there's a lot of, you know, you can get a lot of articulation without actually changing bow direction, and that's what I'm doing there. You can hear 2 distinct G notes, but I'm just re-articulating, adding some pressure. Again, speed, pressure, location are our 3 concepts when we're holding the bow, and that's just adding a little pressure, and you're getting an emphasis on that G. And then coming back down, up bow on F sharp, E, D, down bow on C, B, A, and then up bow on the G. So that's connecting him in triple. 3 notes under 1 bow. Let's do the whole thing. End with one of those nice single bows on the G. So that one is tricky. That one is tricky because of that, you know, re-accentuation of that high G. And just, you know, thinking 3 notes at a time is kind of strange. We're used to thinking in 2s and 4s in Western music. So that's the triple. And then quadruples, the last one. In ways, it's easier than triple because, you know, the bow direction thing is a little bit more straight ahead. When you have 8 notes, you divide it by 4. A little easier than 8 divided by 3. But at the same time, there's a challenge because you have to really use the whole length of your bow and keep it slow. You might have to add a little extra pressure on this one so you can slow down with the bow. And pretty straightforward. You can probably already think about it now that you got the gist of it. First 4 notes are going to be on a down bow. So that's G, A, B, and C. then up bow on the last 4, D, E, F sharp, G. Back down, G, F sharp, E, D, C, B, A, G. All together. And that's the quadruple division of the G major scale. So that's the exercise for this week. Really work on keeping a connected sound. And this is working on slurring across strings. We're already getting into some pretty advanced territory here. So congrats. And it should be a lot of fun. A little bit of a mind bender. And if you're feeling comfortable with the G major, at 60 beats per minute, feel like you don't have to jump to a faster metronome marking. You can just try it at a different scale. Feel free to hop to A or C or E, really any other scale, even some minor scales if you already know those. Just mess around with it. And yeah, have fun just thinking about different slurring combinations, because this is going to be really handy when we're talking about melody playing next week. Have a really cool transcription in mind. So yeah. Thanks so much, everyone, and welcome to the new space. I'm really excited to be here and excited to keep on keeping on with all these Patreon videos. So I'll see you next week, and have fun.